Hello everyone, it's Dmitry Anoshin. Welcome to Surfalytics. This is my course, Getting Starting with Analytics and Data Engineering. And this is the first lesson of the Model 1. There we talk about analytics. We'll start talking about what is analytics. And let's try to think about what is analytics starting from We'll talk about online store, assuming I decide to sell Surfalytics t-shirts, and then we'll go through the stages, how the business can grow, and what questions for analytics we might have. Because in traditional way, if you want to know what's analytics, you probably go to Wikipedia, or better you check the Gartner or Forrester. Those agencies, the Forrester Gartner, they will give you the accurate definition about analytics. But unfortunately, it might be not that clear. Especially, it's not clear how to apply it into your experience, because the goal of the course is to learn the right skills and tools to be able to apply for the jobs like BI developer, BI engineer, data analyst, or product analyst, or the market analyst, and data engineer. And also a bunch of other jobs that have similar idea but the different namings. And we will talk later in another lesson about the roles and their difference. And to better understand what you should do in your role, you actually need to understand what value you can generate for the organization. And I will start from a very simple example. Assuming there is an online store, and for this store, it could be, I don't know, we're selling t-shirts. This is my Surfalytics clothes.com, my website. And as any other e-commerce website, doesn't matter, you can go with the Wix, you can go with WordPress, you can use Shopify. This is our front end, and the front end usually have the back end. So our back end, it is usually the database. So I hope you know what is database. If no, it doesn't matter. We'll learn this in the Model 2 about the databases. But for now, it just exists there. There is the database. And this database, the purpose of this database, if any customer coming to my website and will order a t-shirt from the website, will be transaction or the order. It will have like order ID, order amount, raise article. So for example, it could be different t-shirts. Each t-shirt has article. Or if we'll talk about e-commerce domain, it could be SKU, like known as like SKU. Maybe it's too small for the video. I don't know. Yeah. So, and this SKU, this SKU will place into database. Then the customer coming to here, to my website and order t-shirt, it will generate transaction. So transaction, in simple words, this information about my order, like order ID, the order amount. It might have the customer information, email, first name, last name, maybe billing, maybe shipping information, and all this information will store in this database, also known as a backend database. And if we'll use in terms of relate to the data analytics, we can call this database OLTP. It means online transaction processing database. And this term is very important for data roles to know what's OLTP, what's their purpose, and what's their difference from traditional analytics data warehouse. Okay, this is clear. And maybe I already shared this website with my friends and they order a couple t-shirts. That's nice. So the next one, I need more people coming to my website. But first, I also curious to know how many visitors I have on my website. And I decide to go with the cheap option for web analytics. is Google Analytics. So GA is the Google Analytics. I put tracker on my website, and it will start to collect the digital metrics, so digital marketing metrics, for example, how many visitors I have, how long they spent on my website, and so on and so on. And I quickly figure out that I don't have many visitors, probably my website not that popular, and I need to spend some money on the marketing. My next step is I will decide to spend maybe $100 a day on the marketing, online marketing, and I will use the Google AdWords to put like, I don't know, data t-shirts, keywords, and some other keywords. And also maybe I will target big cities like Vancouver, Toronto, Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, because I don't want like to target everything, all North America. I also, apart from AdWords, I decide to spend some money on social media, and I might run marketing campaign in Facebook and Instagram. So obviously that those AdWords, Facebook, and Instagram, it will cost money for me. And as soon as I will start collect more information, I might have the questions like how much money I spent on the marketing and where is my customers coming from? Because now Google Analytics will track the information for me, who coming from what channel. For example, I can see I have some visitors coming from Facebook, some visitors from Instagram, some visitors from AdWords, and my goal, of course, to understand what channel works, what channel doesn't work. Because if the channel works, I will scale it. I will spend maybe not 100 a day, we'll spend 500 a day. If channel doesn't work, I will just shut down this. And coming to the question, because now we're talking about digital marketing domain. So obviously for analytics, every domain has their own common questions. For digital marketing, we would like to know, for example, attribution model. We want to know the channels. We want to know cost per user acquisition and many other things. One book that I recommend to everyone who's starting in the data field is Lean Analytics. This book's intended for startups in how to measure your startup, but it has really nice frameworks. And also, I will talk about this book later. And also, it has real-world examples of the metrics depends on the business domain. There is set metrics for the cloud applications, there is metrics for the social media platform, there are metrics for e-commerce, and so on and so on. But must have to read this book if you never read. It will give you some business domain context about the metrics, because then you talk with the hiring manager. To succeed, you need not only understand the data domain, know the tools, know the SQL or BI tool, or data engineering frameworks. You also need to understand the business domain and understand how the data can generate the value for the organizations. So what we have here so far, we have a bunch of things. Assuming my business booming, and I decide to launch mobile applications. So, okay, I will create mobile application, and I will use some kind of trackers. It could be Adjust, it could be, I forgot, it could be probably even Google Analytics can track the information. So I will connect it to some tracking system. That's my new data point, the tracking system for mobile application. But also if the customer will place the order, somehow this data will jump right to OLTP transactional database. So I have this. Also, I have so many customers, and I have the call center right now. So let's add so now I can add the CRM system. It could be Salesforce, could be HubSpot, could be anything. So there is CRM systems, and I have the call center. So this could be a call center or database. It's called call center applications, but this application will have the database, or it could be SaaS, like software as a service, cloud applications like Salesforce with some kind of endpoint, but basically it's another information about my organization. So I have so many data points, and I have so many questions that I want to answer about my business. And for example, I want to know what channels works, how much it costs the user acquisition, what's about retention rate, what's about the churn, does my investment work in mobile application, or I just like the build application and pay $20,000 for development and another $10 in promotion of mobile application, and I have no customers. Maybe I have any kind of problems on my UI and there is issues on the websites, or maybe it's not loading properly on mobile applications, and so on and so on. So we can generate many different questions, and moreover, we can generate hypotheses. And to prove the hypothesis about, for example, we just placed the new button, or maybe a new cross-sell or upsell like banner, and we want to know does it work or not. We have assumption it will work. It was our hypothesis, and we place it and want to know will it work or not. So that's basically about real-world example, right? And my question is not mine, but for any business owner, right? And it could be little organization, it could be startup, it could be huge enterprise company. They have similar questions, because we have a bunch of data that we can treat as a raw data, and we need to do some kind of work with this data to be able to answer the questions. And if, for example, then we had the case just the website and maybe Google Analytics, maybe 1-2 paid marketing services, we can do it very simply. So for this purpose, we can start from just dumping data from those services to spreadsheets, and maybe combine data together and generate insights, or just report on the common metrics that we need for our business. So, and we can say, okay, we want dump data from here from Google AdWords to Excel, from Google Analytics to Excel, maybe Facebook and Instagram. We can also dump to Excel. Maybe even we don't want to touch it. We want from here also dump data to Excel. So we have a bunch of Excel files, and this is manual routine work. And for us to answer, next thing we need to combine this data into one huge giant Excel. And then it reminds me the popular picture from Simpsons. There he writes on the classboard, Excel is not database. And yeah, I will find this and share this with this video. You probably can see it on the right and left from my side, but that's the idea. So, but this is how typically many companies, when they start, or startups when they start, they can measure. Alternatively, they can use the service. I don't know, recently I learned about post hoc service, or a segment, or I don't know, it's a bunch of different services that can offer you analytics from the box. And this is usually fine for little companies or startups, but as soon as the company growing and you have more data points, you have more custom things you need to measure, it's usually not going to work. And another challenge with all those like one thing fit all solution, like this kind of service, is not work really well with huge data set, and also it has poor integration with data warehouse solution. And we'll talk about this later. But for now, we just highlight the real examples like selling t-shirts, that we have a bunch of questions. So you just common sense questions like, does my call center work efficiently? What's the waiting time for the customers? How many interactions I have with CRM customers? For example, I might have B2C customers like real people, or I can have business to business, B2B customers, right? And for them, I can have the sales team who running, and I can measure different sales team metrics, and I can measure overall my customer base. I can segment them, and I can Also adding in the future, for example, campaign management solution to create automation for the marketing. I can use, I don't know, MailChimp, Marketer, so many different services that can help me to boost my sales and improve my business efficiency. But to make it right, I need focus on first, like to have all data log from all systems and somehow to see this data to make the decisions. So, and we're coming to the point about analytics value chain. And this is not my idea, so I pick up this idea from one of the business books I like to read. An idea very simple. So if we start from the question why every organization exists, then there is the obvious answer. Every organization exists to generate the value. But there are different groups or different parties who needs the value. So it could be, and I can draw it right here. We can start from, for example, there are customers. This is one group. There could be employees. This another group. There is also business owners or shareholders. It's another group. We can put some shareholders here. So, and every group needs different value. For example, for the customers, they want to have good quality of the product. They want to have good user experience and customer experience, like any kind of experience. For employees, they want to have good salary. They want to have rewards. They want to have recognition. They want to have good work-life balance. For shareholders, obviously, they want to have good profit. And probably this is one of the reasons that the recent, like year 2022, 2023, and even 2024, we saw so many layoffs, and more layoffs will come. Just because this group of the people, shareholders, or like investors, or it could be even like the owners of the business, they didn't meet their financial KPIs, and basically the cost of employees is too high, and for them to make to continue business operates, they need to cut off. But again, to make those kind of decisions, they need the data. They need to understand what kind of the business functions is important to continue to operate, the business stay alive, and which not. But we're not talking about layoffs. We're talking about the business analytics. So we have different group of stakeholders. And I just mentioned that for organization to continue exist and grow, it should generate value for each of the groups. It could be more groups, doesn't matter. So, and to generate more value, you need to make decisions. So here, I can put the box and write, this is like decisions. So if we make the good decision, not myself, but if like the managers, the investors, the employees will make the right decisions, it will help to boost the value, increase the value for the customers, for employees, for shareholders. Everyone happy, like NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA probably really good decisions made in the past. Right now, their profit is just boost. And someone did the bad decisions. Maybe they didn't have the data, maybe they have not full data, maybe they have the wrong data, or they just made decision based on their assumptions. Doesn't matter. So the thing is, if we not make the right decisions, it can crash. So every group will want to get their value. Organization basically not growing. Yeah. So, and obviously to make the decision, you need the data. So you need the data. So here is the data, right? And the data is actually here. So every part of the business, and by the way, I'm talking about the business for profit. I'm not talking about non-profit organizations or any other things. I'm just focusing on the things that can hire you and pay you decent amount of money for your compensation. So, and this, everything here is the data point. So this is the data. We use this data, or different people, different roles can use this data to make the decisions that will lead to value generation. So, and this is very simple analytics value chain. So that's it about analytics. So the next lesson I will talk about the goals of analytics, and then we'll start talking about roles and architecture.